You're listening to the Dirty Air Podcast.
Hey, let me hear some Scanner, brother.
It's in the face, Dilmer. In the face.
I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't know how to party.
And now, here are your hosts, Chuck Bush, Jonathan Merriman, and Matthew Dillner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another super exciting edition of the Dirty Air Podcast here on NASCAR.com. I'm Chuck Bush. I'm joined today by Matthew Dillner over there in the seat, lone by himself, and Jonathan Merriman here next to me because it's the Eliminator Round Media Day here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and we're in the NASCAR.com studios right outside all of the action here in sort of a rainy Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I like Charlotte. But you know what? We're going to have a lot of guests in that chair. I think maybe 4 or 5 drivers, something like that. They're going to be coming in hot and quick. It's NASCAR, so it's going to be fast. Speaking of fast, Talladega. Dude, you two were down there. Jonathan, man, what was number one, what was that race like? And what was the end of that race like, being there in person, witnessing it?
That was the most exciting race I've witnessed in person all year long. Dale Jr. knowing
The ending.
Yeah, Dale Jr. knowing he had to win, and the problems he had all day long, he found himself right back up there at the front. He kept himself together. He kept his team together. But in the end, it just didn't work out. And, you know, NASCAR gave him the one attempt at a green-white checkered. That attempt failed because they did not cross the line. That was specified and clarified. And then they gave them another shot, well, the actual shot at a green-white checkered, in which they crossed the line and the caution came out when the wreck happened. It's a little bit of a bummer, but they tried it. And it's over with now, so...
And I got to be honest, I was driving back from the beach and I was listening to it the whole way back on the radio on MRN, and I was hearing that finish. I stayed in the car for an extra 30 minutes sitting in the driveway just listening to it.
I don't have fingernails left.
NASCAR got it right with that first attempt at a green-white checker, that they didn't hit the start-finish line. They did the right thing for the fans, the right thing for the competitor. The big controversy, though, is afterwards, the second attempt with Kevin Harvick getting into Trevor Bayne there, and there's a lot of chatter going around about that, and a lot of different opinions, including the drivers. Some drivers not too happy with Kevin Harvick, how that possibly changed the outlook of the chase. So it was an exciting race, but the person it was really the most exciting for was Joey Logano. Unbelievable. 6th win of the year, sweeps the round in the playoffs. That was absolutely the most amazing thing, and so far, the story of the chase.
So, you know, there was one guy who won pretty much every race in the last round, and now he is first on the Dirty Air Podcast this week here on NASCAR.com. My voice cracked, but Joey Logano is sitting across the table from us right now. Joey, how are you doing?
What's up? You know, my goal was always to stay out of dirty air and be in the clean air, but this is the good type of dirty air. This is okay.
That's what we're going for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Can I ask you a question? How are your arms feeling from sweeping?
Oh, man.
Oh,
That was a good one.
he's a funny guy.
That's what you did there.
This Dillner has jokes. He has jokes.
It's like he could open up a cleaning service with the amount of brooms that he has.
No, Mr. Logano.
How are you at mopping? That's the question.
Yeah,
Is that if you sweep the rest of the races? Do
that
you
the
mop?
Is that the mop?
Yeah.
Let's go for the mop. I mopped my garage about 2 weeks ago because the problem is I have I have cars. My cars are all old and they leak a lot of oil, and so it's all over my garage floor. So I gotta mop my floor quite a bit unless it gets
Mop at a shop vac.
Well, I'm a car guy.
Yeah.
What's the coolest car in your garage?
I just bought a 1923 Model T.
It's the year Dillner's hat was made.
It is awesome. It is so
My
much
hat
fun.
or your car?
Yeah, all the above. D.
Is it all original or is it?
Yeah, oh yeah. So it's fun. You know, it tops out about 30.
30, 35 maybe?
Yeah, so I'm in the way. If there's someone driving around a Model T and you're mad because you can't get to the place you're trying to get to as quick as you'd like, please don't honk the horn. I'm going as fast as I can go. But it's a lot of fun to drive. It's really challenging to drive. This thing, so you have the throttles on the steering wheel, then you can adjust the timing that's on the other part of the steering wheel. And then you have 3 pedals, but this is where it gets screwy. The brake pedal is on the right side. So the right pedal, yeah, is the brake. So it's a good thing I'm only going 30 because it takes you a while to figure out how to stop this thing.
Don't drive it a lot.
Because
We don't want to retrain your brain.
It's pretty fun, and that's the best part about it because it's very challenging. You know, like you're driving down the road sometimes can get boring, especially if you're used to going 200.
Like if you're in a Volvo.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
You know.
Chuck
but
Bush
this
drives
thing-
a Volvo.
I drive
drives
a Volvo
No,
station
a
wagon.
Volvo station wagon.
I drop kids off at soccer practice all the time. It's kind of my thing. Not my kids though.
It's great. Do you
You're
hug
like,
trees
this
at
guy
night?
Well, your teammate called him a lumbersexual.
Yeah,
Because last
yeah.
week, because last week,
He's not going to wear flannel for the rest of the
I've
year.
never heard that one, but that's pretty awesome.
Pretty
Yeah,
great.
it's more professor.
A lumber.
Lumbersexual.
he was wearing a
Sexual.
flannel shirt and a vest and looked.
He looked like the Brawny Man.
What is a lumber sexual?
It's
exactly.
it's a
Next question.
everybody's wearing the beards and the flannel now, so they're you know
Yeah.
it used to have the metrosexual thing. You know, it's the very
now it's-
cleaned up, prim and proper, and now the new trend is burly. But I don't. Yeah,
I can't do that because I
Neither can
Dude,
he.
I can't. You have a.
he's
hell
got a
of
goatee, but that's about it.
Yeah, that thing, that goatee, that thing's.
It's
strong.
like a broom.
But you can't feel it the rest of the way. You got the chops.
No, these
It's like
shops
the
are pretty
in-between.
weak. I can't. I have nothing there.
Well, that's more than I got. I got nothing in general.
Clean cut. You'll look young forever.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I mean,
so.
I met you when you were like 13. I think it
Yeah.
was. I think it was over at the shop or something. The one time we did a little photo shoot and whatnot. But one thing I was talking to my wife about the other week is a lot of times as cup drivers, you know, we get to this elite level of the sport in NASCAR, or not us, because
You
Dirty
said-
Air is not in the elite.
You're like, as
okay?
cup drivers, we get to this. I was like,
but it's like, you know, an
drove in the
athlete-
Cup Series?
No, I've raced like a mini stock, or you know, don't even
Can you
go
sign
there.
my? Hang on.
Don't even go.
Blunderbuss division.
You've driven in the Blunderbuss division?
on the bus.
That's him from 1996 on Long
That was
Island
you?
trackside.
Play it again.
Yeah, here.
Blunderbuss divisions.
Blunderbuss.
Well, it's actually blunderbust.
Blunderbust.
But my accent from being
Long
a Long
Island.
Island, New Yorker when I was like 17, 18 years old was the blunderbuss
The
division.
blunderbuss.
The blunderbuss. Hey,
What the heck's
you
a
know that
blunderbuss
type
car?
It's a
Exactly.
4,300-pound stock car.
Oh, that sounds
It's
like a
it's like
serious
Cadillacs.
blunderbuss right there.
Yeah, he was talking to
It's
Bubba's
like the
Wiggle.
show, it's a
You know,
bust.
It was good stuff.
You were saying something, remember? But then
I don't
then we
know.
interrupted.
I don't know what I was saying. So, how's life?
How's
I mean,
winning all the
I
time?
have a question on was it the Model T?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the hand crank to start it?
Yeah.
How
But it has
safe
an
are you
electric
with
start to go
Oh,
with it
okay.
as well. So
Oh,
that
wait,
part
so you
is
go, you're
I don't use it.
lazy.
It has the crank
Come
there, but I'm
on,
not
man.
touching it.
Because I was gonna say my
Yeah, 'cause it'll
grandfather
whip
broke his
around
arm.
and-
My
yeah.
grandfather broke his arm on a Model T.
So you don't mess
It
around
kicks
with
back
these things.
and
Oh, it
can
does?
yeah.
A lot of compression in the Model Ts back in 24.
I was going to say, we'll show up next year and the guy's going to be like jacked.
Just
What
one
have you
arm.
been doing?
I've just been
Crank starting my
Cranking
Model T.
Model T.
T.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Model
different
A
things,
was
but
later on.
That
and
was
they
later
were,
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to play a
It's-
game?
Okay.
We like
How
playing games
dirty is
sometimes.
this air? We're all over the place
It's
right
not
now.
a bad game.
It's not a bad game. It might be. Which you know when you won at Bristol, you know I told you about it at Charlotte. Thank goodness you didn't have a sword at Charlotte because Dillner was messing with me. It was the first time I interviewed you in Victory Lane, and then you told me not to make you mad because you just want a sword. So you don't
I
have
did.
you don't have a
Oh, I
sword.
remember this now.
You don't have a sword with you, do you?
Well, no.
All right, I'm gonna.
Don't let me go where I was going with that.
You
You asked the question, and you're going to get that
He's
answer.
talking about a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pen is mightier than the
So,
sword.
all right. So, a lot of success on the restrictor plate tracks this year. 2009. Where did you finish in the Daytona 500?
Oh, my first one.
Yeah.
43rd.
There you go.
I
You've
crashed.
come a long
Big Richard
way.
Petty fan.
Yeah, that's why. I was a big fan of
Just
Richard
in
Petty.
honor
I
of
said,
him.
in honor of him in my first start, I'm going to finish
Yeah,
his
that
car
was very
number.
nice of you.
So, we just figured it would be timely coming off a
I
big
went
super
from-
speedway
thank
win,
you.
having a Daytona 500.
You bookended the super
Yeah.
speedways this year.
Bookended it. Not this year. That was in 09.
No,
oh,
this year.
bookended winning it.
This
Oh,
year.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
my
yeah,
first.
You won
yeah.
the 500,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
that
you
was
won
kinda cool.
in Talladega this
What
weekend.
happened
It
in
was
the
a
other
race.
two?
Yeah.
We crashed in the other two, by the way.
Hey, but you know what? he won the 500. So I mean, that's
one of the 500 is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's cool. That was really cool.
Where's the ring?
Yeah,
It's at home.
You don't carry it with just like yeah.
We're
look at
not
this.
cool
I got-
enough for you to bring
It's
out
kind
the
of no.
bling.
It's kind of weird. What do you like? I don't know. How do you wear that around?
You won the Daytona 500.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I
But
would
like,
get
you
a
just
grill.
wear around this huge ring all day.
I would
Daytona
check
out this
500.
ring that
I
I
would
got.
have a grill made. On the top it would say Daytona. The bottom would say 500. And I just walk around.
Is that because you have less
all the
teeth on the
time.
bottom? I mean,
He is from Rustburg, Virginia. So
Hey now. Hey, we're headed.
Is
We're,
there a
okay.
right time to wear the Daytona 500 ring?
yeah, all the time.
I'd say at a dinner, not at the Dirty Air podcast.
you think
I
like
agree.
at just a normal dinner? Like if I was
No,
going
not
on
if
a
you're
high
going to
date with my
McDonald's.
wife.
you know.
No,
no.
Like the banquet, I feel like would be a good time to wear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until
And
hopefully
only
you
this
get
year.
another ring.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Well, Joey, thank you so much for joining us here
Wait, you
today.
don't want to talk to me anymore?
Well, I've got people talking in my head, and it's not like the normal people. It's like I got a
He
producer.
does have voices in the
Yeah,
set.
He does,
But
yeah.
I actually have somebody talking and saying, "Hey, we're at like 7 minutes and 30 seconds."
But it's
and-
Joey Logano. The guy's
know.
like won 2,422 races this year.
we didn't even talk
That's a
about
lot of
racing.
math.
That's the point.
This was a lot more fun
Hey,
than
hey,
all the
say
other
racing.
questions I've got today.
Say racing.
Racing.
We
No,
talked
didn't.
about racing.
No,
Yeah,
we
we
did.
did.
Done.
So mission accomplished. We
Done.
talked about racing with Joey Logano. So thank you so much for joining us here today on the Dirty Air podcast.
I was
They
glad to
got
be
high.
here. Thanks for inviting me.
You're
Thanks
welcome
for
back.
kicking me off,
Anytime.
too.
You're actually in
You're
our
outta here.
You're in our open. You're in our open.
Yeah, the open of our show.
I don't know
has
how
you
to
in it.
party.
This is
Yeah.
the open?
Yeah,
No.
for some reason,
Are
there's
we
a
still on,
audio
or did you
clip.
kick me off
I don't
already?
know if we're on, but in the open, there's a little clip of you saying, "I really don't know how to party." I don't know what it's from.
Really?
It's from Daytona.
It's from Daytona.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still haven't figured it out.
You
But-
will.
Well, if you watch
will
the
in
show-
Vegas, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, yeah. We could have one heck of a party. It'd be a lot of
Boom.
fun.
We'll be there.
All you guys are invited.
Hey,
we can
thanks.
do the podcast from
The link.
Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel.
a Ferris wheel. Okay. We
Yeah.
can do it from a Ferris wheel.
What
There
is
it
that
is.
thing?
We'll do
It's
a
huge.
podcast from a Ferris wheel in Vegas. Joey, thank you for joining us, and have a good rest of your day. And now, Carl Edwards is joining us here on the Dirty Air podcast. Carl, thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be on. You guys have so much technology here.
I know,
There's
we've
just
got
so much
stuff.
happening right
Machines and wires and a lot of dirty
now.
air.
Really cool. Yeah, dirty
We got
air.
some die casts.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
get the
my
double-
Charlie Jazombek diecast.
double entendre of the.
The dirty air.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, this is really cool though. Thank you guys for having me on. This is my first time on the show. So
Long time listener,
long time
first time
listener.
caller.
actually.
Big
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Long time listener.
yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of those.
Yeah. What's happening?
Not much. We're just
much. We're
hanging
just
out.
having fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. That's the whole point of it. Is we just
Okay,
hang out
cool.
and talk about
You want
stuff.
to play a game?
Let's play a game.
Yeah, let's play
do-
games.
Let's do game time.
All right.
Why
So
not?
this game is called "Where Did You Finish?"
Oh, boy.
okay.
Oh, I have.
So
We
all
had
right.
fun with this the last time
All
we
right,
did it.
Okay.
So 2008, huge season for you.
Yep.
9 wins. We're not going to talk about any of those though. Sorry.
This is gonna be
Sorry.
terrible. You're gonna say.
All right. So Darlington,
Yeah.
2008. Where did you
Well,
finish?
that's a second.
Okay.
That's the easy one to remember. Everybody remembers their second place.
Who finished ahead of you?
Regan Smith.
No.
Oh, I would have guessed Regan Smith too.
Kyle Busch,
Really?
2008.
What year? Oh, it's
So
2011.
2000.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey,
I'm
you
sorry.
still
I
fin-
mixed those up. Yeah,
you-
Kyle Busch was driving the Indiana Jones car.
Yep.
Yes. So I remember that race real well, too.
You know who
Sorry, that
finished
was- and
behind you?
I have no clue who finished behind me.
Jeff Gordon.
Really?
Yep.
I was very focused on Kyle. That's interesting. I thought that was 2008. But yeah, I remember both of those second place finishes very well. That was,
Thanks for bringing him up.
But no.
I remember. I remember Kyle. Kyle bounced off the fence off of turn 2 one time, and I thought, oh, it's over, and he just kept digging. I mean, it's like, whoa, he's on it.
And it's less painful because he won Darlington this year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Throwback
Carlington.
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 Yep,
There you
Carlington.
go.
That was big.
So, what other tracks do you plan on rebranding?
We don't have any. I mean, it's
Carltona.
Carltonville is which
Carltona.
That's kind of better. I kind of like that. No.
Carltona.
Carla Dega.
Carla Dega.
Carla Dega. Yeah.
Carla Dega.
Carla Dega. I like that.
But
Tala Carla.
the there aren't a lot of things that rhyme or go with Carl. Really.
California.
Yes.
California, that's it.
Boom,
That's
done.
the one.
Yeah,
California.
yeah.
But the problem, what happened was we knew with Darlington, we could just put that one piece of tape right there. and
Randy
make it-
Fuller is a
make it
genius,
happen.
isn't he?
Yes, yes. Randy's been carrying that piece around for long. My good friend from back in Missouri, his name's Carl as well. He came up with that idea about 10 years ago. He said, man, if you just had a piece of white tape, you can make it Carlington. I was like, that's a great idea. It doesn't seem to have the same ring when somebody else wins to do it though. So I had to wait until we won, and then Randy did it. It was cool.
Now you got these cans on, as we like to call them, and you got the cool microphone here
Yep.
that makes us sound really good. You used to have the. Do you still have back 40 records?
No, we
and
don't.
Is the back 40 still around? Because it's a dream of mine to have like a racetrack in my backyard.
Okay, so the back 40 records, the name came from our back 40 racing. The Trasks in Missouri are very cool people, and they took their back 40 acres on their farm, and it's kind of a hilltop, and it was just a hay pasture, and it was like everybody bring your junk cars and
Lot
we
cars
race.
and-
It's so much fun. I mean, it was really cool.
When's the
And,
last time you've done that?
It's been a while. We need
Yeah.
to do it again. It's so neat. There's just something about sitting in somebody's car, like you and 3 or 6 of your buddies, and just like
Just
you're all
bombing around
buckled
a
in,
field.
and it's like somebody's air freshener, a picture of their kid on the dash, and it's just some car from the junkyard, and and it's just a blast, and to get to run them into each other's glass exploding everywhere, and
It sounds really safe too.
it's not
awesome.
safe at all.
It's perfect.
In fact, I don't know if the statute of limitations is up on all this stuff, but there was one of the coolest things we did with that was this family came. There was a couple people, they'd bring their wife and kids so they could watch this crazy stuff, and the kid wanted to drive so bad. He's like 7, I don't know. His little sister's 3 maybe. So I get the kid in the car and I rode around. It was like a big old LTD or something.
Yeah.
Rode around and he had it. I mean, he could see over he's got his, he's sitting on the edge of the seat. He could touch the pedals. He could see over it. We did a couple practice start and stops. His sister's buckled in the back seat, and I said, all right, you go for a lap. And I got out, and his mom was like melting down. She's like, no! And he just took off into the field. He did a whole lap. I mean, he's like 7. He's driving this big car. And
So 10 years from now, when he's competing in the NASCAR Sprint
Right.
Cup Series,
yeah,
voila.
I mean, his little sister's just back there. It was so fun. So anyway, we had a good time with that. I don't recommend doing that at home. I'm not endorsing that kind of behavior.
I don't have enough
but,
property.
But anyway, so Back 40 Records is not around anymore. But some of the artists have gone on and done really well, despite being involved with me and my record label. They've done a great job. So
Did you
it
ever
was fun.
rap?
No.
Okay,
no,
good,
I have no.
good.
I can
I was
play the
hoping not.
guitar like very slightly. And,
He plays music.
I
Well,
play a
he
little
tries.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
basically classical
basically.
jazz, some really
wow.
smooth jazz.
The flute.
Cool.
Yeah.
With the guitar.
And a jazz flute.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
Yeah.
not really. Not the flute, but the guitar. Yeah. I mean, little southern rock, little country. Just to have fun with it. Yeah.
It is fun. It's good.
So, hey, I think I've asked you this before, but I kind of forgot the answer. We were talking a few
He's
weeks
as big
ago.
as an elephant, but
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't
know.
have the memory of
Well,
one.
that was
Exactly. I
the
don't have
only
the
question
memory.
I got on the game. That was it. Okay.
what
so
about-
we just.
what-
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. What,
Sorry,
what about
we got off on the car.
Only one,
2008 Martinsville? Where'd you
He's got
finish?
another one.
Yeah, 2008
2008.
Martinsville.
4th.
Third.
Close. I knew it was close because it was a good run.
Yeah,
We needed it.
Close, but no cigar.
That was pretty close.
Close but no clock.
I'd pass you.
Oh.
Oh. Sorry.
That was you should.
You can go
Those
over
eyes,
there and you
those
can get
eyes
him.
were just piercing.
No,
like when
I-
I said that, he looked at me like,
You're messing with Carl Edwards about something in Martinsville. It's not
Yeah,
wise.
no, that's low fruit. That's easy right there.
Low hanging fruit. That's
yeah,
what he
same.
usually calls me.
Yeah. It's like- yeah.
So,
So what were you going to ask? Something that
oh
you
yeah.
think you may have forgotten?
Okay. I'm not a big fan personally. Don't take offense of the nickname Cousin Carl.
Okay.
Like,
Why
is
is
there?
that?
I don't know. It just doesn't have a ring to it. I know you're
Okay.
cousins with Kenny Schrader.
Yep.
I guess that's probably
Second
where
cousin.
it
Yep.
came from.
Yep. So my dad was
Um,
cousin Mike, and they
Cousin
called me
Mike.
cousin Carl.
So, is there any other nicknames that we can get out there for you?
I don't. No, I don't think so. There's
No?
nothing else. It's whatever.
just
I
Carl.
mean, Carl's Carl. We did a
Carl.
thing at. Carl's kind of like an old name.
An old
it's just-
soul.
Yes, it's just one of those names that there's not a. I don't know. It's not really that. It's
was
just
trying- I
Carl.
was trying for
Thank
you.
you. It's Carl.
You know.
So you can call me Carl if you'd like, but I mean, people call me all sorts of things. You never know what you're gonna hear.
What's the nicest thing you've been called? I'm not going to ask you what the worst thing you've been called has been.
Man, I don't.
I could take a guess.
So. What?
Racer.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That is neat. I'd say that Dick Bergman Speedway Illustrated did a really neat story on me a long time ago, and that was one of the coolest things ever to be recognized by that publication. And it's just a guy that likes racing and it goes out and races. So that's good. And I hadn't thought of that, but yes, that's cool.
well, the number one thing about nicknames, you can't pick your own.
Right.
So, asking him that question, that's a tough one. But Carl, call you Carl.
Okay,
We'll
go
just
ahead.
call you Carl.
Just call you Carl.
C. Edwards. That's not really a nickname. But anyway, thank you for joining us on the Dirty Air
And I
podcast.
hope
was
you
awesome.
love that,
This
that we
was
didn't
great.
talk almost
This-
anything about racing.
We got Martin Truex Jr. in the studio with us on the Dirty Air podcast. Martin, thank you for joining us today.
How come you're not as animated
Yeah,
as Chuck?
So
I'm animated.
So awesome to be here.
It is so great. It is so fun to have you.
You can tell he had an energy drink right
on
before
our
What are you?
podcast.
What are you on? Like, what are you drinking?
Coffee?
Oh, just coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee
Straight-
and energy
Well,
drinks.
I had to cover the inspection stream on NASCAR.com this morning, so I've been here since 6 o'clock in the morning.
Gotcha.
And now I'm on maybe an energy drink or two.
Poor
So-
guy had to go to work.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had to work today. Shocking.
Good for
so,
you.
so you're working today, the big media rounds here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and how's it been so far?
glad to be back. You know.
Yeah, it's good
Hey,
to be
yeah,
here.
it's good
Glad
to
be
good to see you back here.
Yeah, feel good about it. It's all good. Crappy day outside. Good day to be inside talking racing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know down there at Talladega, you and did you go fishing in
Yeah.
Talladega?
Yeah, I always go fishing there.
Is good lakes down there for
Yeah,
fishing?
there's some good places that we have. We got some honey holes and some hot spots, and yeah, we go fishing every time, so it's fun.
What'd you catch?
We catch largemouth bass, freshwater. So it's there's so much downtime, in that weekend. So it's a perfect place for us to have. We've got some friends that have a fishing camp about 20 minutes from the track, and we go over there and fish till dark, and then we grill out and hang out and watch TV. So definitely a fun weekend for us.
Now, I got to ask you something. Earlier in the year, because you were talking about fishing, I've got to call you guys out. Okay, earlier in the year, one of our first shows, I said something about your dad.
Yeah.
Calling him like the clam king of the East Coast. And these guys here ragged on me.
Well, it was the way you said it.
Is it- am I
Chuck
right?
did, not me. The first time I heard that, when they called you the Clam Prince of New Jersey, I misheard them say, and I thought they said Clown Prince of New Jersey. And I was
No,
like, this
no.
makes no sense, but it was clarified.
So
Yeah.
Can you clarify it to Chuck Bush about your
yeah.
background of being the? I mean, you worked on a clam boat,
Yeah,
and
so,
your dad was the man.
Yeah, so our family is in the fishing business, commercial clamming, and yes, they do call my dad the Clam King.
It's like Bubba Gump in the Northeast.
It basically is the same thing. Yeah.
So-
So we got it. They've got it's huge. They've got 30-some boats and processing plants, and pretty much, if you eat clam chowder or clam strips or anything like that,
I eat a lot of that.
At just about any restaurant in the U.S., there's about a 95% chance that one of our family's boats caught it.
And
I
one
learned
of your
something today.
one of his early race cars was funded
Yep.
because you were working on the boat, correct?
Well, my first race car was funded by mostly me, and because I was working on the boat, yeah. So I work all week, and we used to go race Wall Stadium on Saturday night, and drive back to the shop, about 40 minutes south to the shop, park the hauler. I'd go home, take a shower, and drive about 40 minutes further south, get on the boat, and go out fishing because you had to be, you wanted to be out there first thing Sunday morning. So race Saturday night, go out get to the dock about 3 a.m. and go work.
That's a full day.
Is it
Full
anything?
day.
Is it anything like the TV shows? I've never been on a clam boat. My dad used to do some small clamming and stuff out East End and Long Island, but the big commercial clamming, is it anything like the deal with the what's that crab show?
Yeah, the Deadliest Catch.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit like that. The boats are similar. The weather's not quite as bad. It's wintertime is kind of crappy because it gets pretty cold out
Yeah.
there and things ice up and everything like that. But for the most part, the weather isn't quite as bad.
No
but
icebergs.
No icebergs. And so we don't have they have cages, they call them, I guess, or traps. I'm sorry. Yes, they drop traps. We don't have that. We had like a big dredge on the boat that you drag. And you'd pull it up and dump everything out and then put it back down and drag it some more. So we kind of would just, always working on that.
Do you like how we haven't talked about racing? We've talked about fish and clams.
Well,
Fish
we
and
talked a
clams.
little bit about racing because the clams funded
There you
some
go.
racing.
Sure.
So
I
we
want to
tied
ask
it
you
back.
about Talladega. You ever dress up in disguise and hit the boulevard on a Friday or Saturday night just to
Just
go out
don't
there
tell
and
us what disguise.
Look
Don't-
what's
don't-
going on.
No, I don't need a disguise to go out there. I can do pretty good. As long as you're not Dale Jr., you can pretty much go anywhere you want there and people won't notice you. So
Kind of
He
pull
was-
the
he
cap,
was-
pull the cap down tight.
It was his rookie
It's my first
performance.
time.
it's pretty impressive.
It's
right?
His
eye-opening.
eyes were like this on the boulevard the other night.
Yeah. It's there's some impressive stuff and then some not so impressive stuff.
We'll leave
That's
it at
all
that.
we'll say.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Talladega, you need to go and you need to hang out in the infield.
It's redneck
worth it.
Mardi Gras, and it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. It's Michigan's fun too. There's a lot of fun tracks. Some in the Northeast too. The fans up there just
Yeah, Watkins
New
Glen's
Ham-
pretty good infield.
Yeah, that
I
could be
think.
pretty wild
Yeah.
there. So, Hey,
In general, all our racetracks, they get pretty wild on the weekends, and why not? I mean,
Fans
it's
like to party, man.
It's a huge party all weekend. I mean, that's what it's all about. Our fans are awesome.
It's a vacation for some people, so
Exactly.
let loose.
All right, I got a question for you. Speaking of large parties and all that, you're a New Jersey guy. Who is your favorite New Jersey music group?
I guess I would have to say Springsteen.
Going chalk. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
Springsteen's
he's
cool.
I
man.
likened
He's
you to
cool.
more of a Bon Jovi guy. That was a joke, by the way.
No, Springsteen.
Springsteen?
Yeah,
Yeah. Born to Run. Isn't that a Springsteen?
yeah.
Yeah, Born in the USA.
That's
You don't- You had a question about music?
I
Chuck's
did.
usually a music encyclopedia.
I mean, I look like a professor today, so I'm kind of going for that look.
Yeah, well, last time he was in flannel, and Brad Keselowski called him a lumbersexual. So he is toned down his outfit today just for you, Martin.
That's
so.
pretty good.
Yeah, but in Martinsville this weekend, I'm
You're back to
thinking. Well, it's
doing it.
Halloween is on Saturday.
You should go as the
is.
Brawny Man.
I was thinking about that or Jeremiah Johnson.
It's going to be interesting. Usually Halloween's Talladega.
Yeah.
So this year we'll get to see what kind of talent Martinsville has.
What's
got a
what's your
costume?
favorite thing that you've
No.
dressed?
Yeah, no
Have
costume.
you dressed up in something really fun over the years?
No,
Nothing?
I told somebody like 2 weeks ago. They asked me what your favorite Halloween costume was. I was like, I don't even remember. I put in just enough effort that I could still get candy.
When I was a kid, I dressed up like a pumpkin, and I'm not small now, but I was a really fat kid. So I opened the door to my mom's car before she stopped, and I rolled out of the car down the guy's driveway dressed as a pumpkin. Darlington.
Blanking Darlington?
Carl made it Carlington. You don't even have to do anything. It's
know.
already
Oh, yeah.
Martinsville.
I know.
Just-
I mean,
That would
of all the places to win, I have to win at Martinsville someday.
If you do, get out of the car and just go down like park the car by the Ville and get down there and just do like an old school pose with the checkered flag.
that would be cool.
Just carry a can of white spray paint.
Yeah.
For you, Dillner, I will do that. If
Thank
I
you.
win, it's done. Consider it
Thank
done.
you.
You heard it here first.
You heard it
He's
here.
going to do Dillner's pose there in front of the Martinsville scene. Well, Martin Truex Jr., thank you for hopping in here, and hopefully we didn't talk about too much racing for you. And just
Perfect.
a little brief break
Yeah.
of this long day. So thank you again, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Have fun.
Now we've got Kurt Busch here in the dirty air with us. Kurt, thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here. Thank you, gentlemen.
Assume you're a long-time listener, first-time guest.
I think I'm a first time on talk
Yeah,
and a long time listener. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I
like it,
been
yeah.
on Dirty Air before?
You've been in dirty air before.
Yes. Oh, yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Probably
Every,
not
every
on our-
week
yeah.
when I'm running second or worse.
How you like
You
that?
hate dirty
So
air.
you guys are the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Dirty Air. There's only one guy that's got clean air.
We're the only enjoyable dirty air though, Kurt.
Got you. True.
FYI.
Yep. We'll keep it PG rated. There,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
No, good deal. I'm happy to be here. It's good that we've advanced this far through the chase, and we want more. We want more on this 41 car, and if we can stay in the clean air, then we'll have a better chance at advancing.
Well, we were talking about before you got in here. We were talking with your PR guy Rory about barbecue. So I'm hungry right now. How hungry are you for that championship? Because you've won it before. You've won it before.
He's
but
punting.
it would just it would be different now.
It would be, because 2015 is different than 2004.
Well,
But very
life
hungry.
is different.
like
Very hungry.
life is
There's like
different.
9-10 years in there. I mean,
I
you
know,
it's
like
a-
ancient times. That's when the chase had 10 races in it. Oh my gosh. No. Crazy how things have changed over the
Yeah.
years. And to be in position to win a championship, I thought early on I'd have more opportunities at that. And now to have had different seasons go by and to have a championship eligible team and competitiveness right now, I'm loving it. It feels great. And we need to go out there and seal the deal. And we thought we could be in this top 8 to be in the eliminator round. And now we've got our work cut out for us with these next 3 races to get that ticket punch to get down to Homestead. And don't want to let this slip through our fingers. We're going to go out there and do a good job. We're going to stay focused and play to our strengths on this 41 team.
This weekend, you're running the monster car. Chuck drank one before the show. He's doing well, so that's
He's doing a lot better.
seems to be working for
You look
him.
great. You look
Yeah, I'm just-
attentive.
you know,
You got the caffeine buzz and the
Yeah.
adrenaline, and it's a lifestyle in a can. I'm loving it.
I like the
You got
rehab. The rehab when it's sort of like the
lemonade,
Arnold Palmer
yeah.
of Monster.
Yes, they
Yes.
have all kinds of flavors. I heard
that your favorite?
They're up to 43 flavors now.
43?
Yep.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is whichever ends up in my hand.
43 flavors is perfect for NASCAR.
Yes.
You have
Wow.
one. You have
I love
one.
that. It's a
One for
starting
everybody.
lineup.
Nice. We should just hand them out next week for every starter.
That's
That
right.
would make the race kind of interesting, I think.
Wouldn't it?
If
Yes,
everybody chugged one
especially
before they got in the
Martinsville,
car.
where you have to
yeah.
have patience.
They'd all be jacked up. That's going to be good.
Get you a Monster and a Martinsville hot dog.
No,
and
I
no
love the
problems.
original. Love the rehab branding. They have the low carb. They've coming out with juice type Monster ones now with percentages of juice.
Oh, nice.
They have protein, like for after a workout to get or before to get the pump going. You name it. They've got a different feel for whatever mood you're in.
Hey, I'm not going to bring up your baseball team because I feel bad.
All right, good. All
I
right.
just did.
Steering in a new direction. That's
Steering new direction. Your football team, the Bears.
No, I don't even want to go there either.
Why not?
Well, we
you
did
just-
good last week.
Yeah.
We did good. We had an off week.
Hey, you didn't lose. That's all that matters. Hey, thank you for Jared Allen
Yes, we
coming
appreciate
down to the
that.
Panthers. That was
We appreciate that very
There
much.
is somewhat of a connection with the Bears and the
I don't know
Panthers.
why.
when
It's-
they
it's
trade
John
guys.
Fox,
Yep.
Julius Peppers.
Peppers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been some trades back and forth. So the Carolinas and Illinois.
Who's your all-time favorite Bear player?
Walter Payton.
My name is Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the balls like making romance.
That and I'm a defensive guy. I like Singletary.
Yeah.
You know, the middle linebacker position, and Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
I got the chance to meet him a few years ago. So it's neat with the feel of Midwestern football. Chicago Bears love to go up against the Green Bay Packers, and it's a genuine rivalry that I like to root for.
When you got Ditka.
And you got Dick.
Oh yeah, Coach.
You can't go out. You can't go without talking about Ditka.
Who would win? The Dirty Air podcast crew or Dicka?
Well, who of you guys who can impersonate him the best?
That'd probably be that might be me there.
That's
Yeah?
what to be him.
What do you think? You don't
Might be
think you
Troy.
guys?
I don't think
What about
Dillner
you?
can do a good.
No,
Ditka.
I don't think
You're
so.
going to get in on this?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe
No.
That's
Yeah,
not
you're
it.
P3 already out of the three
Do,
sitting
do you
in here.
know? Do you know?
Thank you, Kurt Busch.
You're in dirty air. You're in dirty
Kick
air.
the crap out of all of us. Anyway, the Bears in the 1920s when they first organized professional football, they were named. You know.
The Decatur Staleys.
Wow.
Boom. That just happened.
How did they
I
get the
didn't even
name the
know that.
Cubs?
Drop the mic. I'm out.
How did they get the name Cubs?
Because
This
they
is for the
wanted to
bonus.
keep it in the family of a bear and a cub.
Yep, and Bear football players were typically bigger and,
and
stronger.
meaner, and the baseball players were smaller, and they went with Cubs.
I'm dropping the headset. This guy's got it.
We got it. Can't quiz me on Chicago sports.
Wow.
Studied up.
We have a hockey team too.
Yeah,
Blackhawks.
yeah.
Boom. Got that
I'm a
one
New York.
right.
I'm a New York
There's
Islander
also
fan.
a
You beat us
basketball
this
team
year,
as
so
well,
I
you
don't
know?
like
Yeah.
it.
Doubles.
Doubles.
Just
Doubles.
put duh in front of everything
Yeah.
Chicago.
Matt Strickert, our producer upstairs, is from Chicago. He is a huge Chicago.
I just like Italian beef.
Cubs fan. He's a Bears fan. No, is he a Bears fan? He might be. I don't know. But he uses the duh all the
He
time.
loves Jay Cutler.
He loves
Anyway.
the cutlet.
He
We
doesn't love
derail
chicken.
quickly
Yeah, we do.
here on this podcast.
No, I
Do you like
the
being
Vienna
derailed here?
style.
Like-
I like the Vienna style hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
With the poppy seed bun, mustard, pickle.
Legit.
hot
Sport pepper. You got to
Yep,
have that
gotta
sport pepper, you know.
Got to get the pepper.
We keep talking about food, man. Like,
Because
I'm
we're hungry.
hungry,
It's got to be lunchtime.
Rory, smoke us up some
it's getting close
briskets.
to dinner.
Look at that. It's lunchtime on the West Coast. Is it 4 o'clock already?
It's crazy.
This
Isn't it?
media day, that's silly. We've been here all day. I didn't even realize it's
But
4 o'clock.
Have you
where
been
else
having
would
fun?
you speak of sport
I'm
peppers
glad
and
this
Bears
is the
football?
last stop. I'm glad. Next time we'll have a cold beer.
Would you say it was
Hey,
a
there you
high
go.
note or a low
An
note?
old style, you know.
It's a high-low.
To use another football term.
In other words, we're spinning out.
Yeah, well,
like that
No,
was
we're
it,
just
man.
tracking sideways.
Yeah.
We're good. We're still in yaw.
kind of hanging it out there a little bit, seeing what'll stick.
All right, so
Things are good. We'll see how the next 3 races, with Martinsville, Texas, Phoenix. I'm digging all 3. I've won at all 3.
yep.
I like Texas, though, if we're talking serious in the way that things have to go here for the chase. Texas, if you do well there, it's a sister track to Homestead.
Yeah.
It's a mile and a half. The asphalt is worn out at both places. Both tracks chew up the tires the same. And it's very likely that the races, I know Texas goes into nightfall. Just the sun drops very quick this time of year. But maybe with the NBC broadcast, we're starting our races earlier. But both Homestead and Texas are sister tracks. So you do well at Texas, you're going to do well at Homestead.
Kurt Busch dropping a lot of knowledge today on the Dirty Air podcast.
At least somebody did.
Yeah, Lord knows we haven't yet. You know, we've been all over the place today.
All good.
Yeah.
Don't
Couple
have to
laps
be too
down.
serious.
Hey, you know, I would figure that you'd be licking your chops more for Martinsville, but that's just a good omen for this team. Looking at your team, though, this year, something that I've noticed being in the garage every week, being on pit road every week when you're getting out of the car, is even in the frustrating moments this year for you, where your car isn't the greatest, it seems like the chemistry between you and the old man there, Tony Gibson, there's something special there. What is it?
It is that special respect that we both have for each other. We're veterans of this sport. He grew up in Florida with the whole France situation. I think his mom or one of his sisters was a secretary for Bill France Jr. And the way that he came up through racing, same way with my family out on the West Coast, with the way that my mom was the chief scorer at the local short track. She helped with the pay window. My dad, it was 100% focus on his hobby, which was racing. And that we grew up in a NASCAR-type family. And the way that Tony Gibson has navigated his way through the Cup Garage, same way for me. He's got big-time trophies on the shelf, so do I. We want to share one together. And I think that that's what this camaraderie has been all about.
Does he tape a spoon to his headset? What is that big plastic piece on his?
Oh yeah, that's the, like if the cameras are on him, he can cover his mouth.
So does he fab that up himself, or is that a stock option?
I think he should go with a spork, because I think the spork is the most underutilized tool in the history of.
Do they still give out sporks?
He had one this weekend.
I used one this
They
weekend.
got him at Bojangles.
At Bojangles,
Yeah.
Yes, for dirty grass.
Genius. No, it's to cover up his face when he's making a pit call or something, and if the cameras are on him, you can't really decipher what he's saying.
Beautiful.
I mean, same thing like coaches
I've got a big mouth. It would be a
put their
ladle.
clipboards up.
I just didn't know if it was a fabricated piece or if that came on there.
It's aftermarket. It might be out on the shelves though right now.
Good bolt-on. Good bolt-on ad.
Well, Kurt Busch, thank you for joining us here on the Dirty Air podcast.
You have to have it
I gotta
behind
have
the mic.
it doesn't quite work like that
It was
for us.
working.
But,
I didn't know what you were saying. I could not read your lips.
But Kurt, thank you
I
for
had to
joining
read your
us.
mind.
And hopefully you have a monster weekend in Martinsville.
Oh, Shazam.
there
Thank
you
you. It should be a great week. I'm looking forward to this chase, new sponsor, and the way that Monster's coming into Sprint Cup is going to be big time next year with their activation.
It's cool.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen.
You hear Kurt talk about it right there. This round has some tracks that are, one, good for him, and two, kind of sets you up for that race in Homestead. With Texas, like you said, it's sort of a sister track to Homestead. So looking at this round and looking at these 8 drivers, Matthew Dillner, who is your favorite now heading into the Eliminator round?
Well, I know Martinsville, I'm going for the 48 and the 24. I don't think Joey Logano is going to carry this sweep into a four-peat as per se, but I still think Joey Logano is the odds-on favorite right now for this chase. I think it's going to come down between him and, of course, a Gibbs car with Kyle Busch, but I still think Joey Logano is the guy to beat right now.
I disagree with you. And I like
Why?
Joey, and I like what he's doing behind the wheel of the race car.
I know what you're gonna say
There
here.
is an outlier here, and it's Matt Kenseth. We cannot forget that he made Matt Kenseth mad yet again. At Talladega. Kenseth feels like he cut him off. So I think the guy that you have to look out for is the guy that's in that same Penske equipment who no one is talking about, who has won a title before, Brad Keselowski, under the radar, in fast equipment. We've seen it win 3 weeks in a row with his teammate. So why can't
It's
Brad?
a safe pick. It's a safe pick.
Do you honestly think that Matt Kenseth is going to do something in this round?
I don't think he's going to do so. I think his car is going to be the hardest one for the 22 to pass.
He is
So
going to
it's the
make it
mental
more
aspect of it?
difficult. It's not just the mental. He is going to make it difficult to get him around him. Anytime he's around that 20 car, it is not going to be easy. You can put a guarantee, slap a stamp on it. Kenseth is going to be a factor, but I think personally, Joey Logano can overcome that.
And I think Harvick would be a favorite too, but a lot of drivers are not happy with him after
no.
Talladega, so that car is going to have a hard time passing quite a few guys as well. Not saying they can't do it. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to go turn someone.
Kevin Harvick. Like, you can't say Phoenix without Kevin Harvick. So there's a very, very good chance that he will be in that Final Four. But, anything
can happen. It's
Anything can
NASCAR,
happen.
baby.
And I think, I keep going back to it, that storybook ending, that 24, man. We're going to
Speaking of
Martinsville. We
creeping
are
up.
going to Martinsville this weekend. And that is a place where Jeff Gordon, he's won there recently.
He's owned that place.
Martinsville in the past. I think that we might have this storybook ending, and you're going to see Jeff Gordon. If you give him a shot at Homestead, and it's him and 3 other drivers, I'm taking the 24, man.
We've been waiting for that storybook ending to this great career so far this year, and we just have not had that moment yet from Jeff Gordon. So, Chuck, I have to agree with you. It could come in Homestead, but remember, it's 4 drivers at Homestead. Anybody can win it out of those 4.
I think it's a smart pick, Charles.
Hey, I did something smart today. I struggled through this one today.
I'm saying that. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, I spent the weekend at the beach with my nephew, and he's 2 years old, and I kind of sound a little bit hoarse right now. That's because he was stopped up. So yeah,
we're going to Rossburg, Virginia boys' favorite track here. Rustburg.
That's a completely different thing.
That's where Eldora is. In Ohio.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Eldora.
Rustburg.
Rustburg.
We're
Virginia.
heading to his home track, if you will.
Boom, son! I love Martinsville.
Eat some hot dogs. You gonna eat you some hot dogs?
I no longer competitively eat, but
I didn't ask if you were competitive
I will
eating.
have some.
I said, are you going to have a hot dog?
Dude, if you go to Martinsville and don't have a Jesse Jones hot dog, that's like.
Well, they're not Jesse Jones anymore.
Oh, excuse me. If you go to
Smithfield.
Martinsville without having a Martinsville hot dog,
Valleydale.
That's like going to a pool and not dipping your foot in.
I mean, a hot dog's a hot dog.
What if you can't swim? That's a different story. I'm going to eat 10.
10? Wimp.
I was jumping in the pool because if you can't swim, then 10. So
Well,
you're saying
good use
10.
for the swimming.
Hey,
the soundtrack there.
I'm gonna have two. We're there 3 days?
Oh, come on,
6.
man.
I'll do 2 a day.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I'll
good.
do 2 days.
Anyways, I mean
The place.
the racing's great. Clay Campbell track president's great. So
It's going to be a great weekend. All 3 of us are going to be up there. We're going to have a great time. So be sure to check out all of the action on NASCAR.com this weekend so you can look at the live leaderboard, set your fantasy live lineups, take some of our picks from this podcast. You can use them there. For everybody here at NASCAR.com, remember, go to YouTube, comment on things because we read them.
Like what was that guy's name?
Rob CC.
Rob CC.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
Woo.
we like you, Rob. And
haters gonna hate.
Tyler Bunn, I think that was his name.
Tyler Bunn, buddy.
But check us out on YouTube.
Love you too.
Log on to iTunes, subscribe, download, and listen. For Matthew Dillner, Jonathan Merriman, I'm Chuck Bush, reminding you to hop out in that clean air, chase down the leader. We'll see you next week. Back in the pack.
Go
Here
to Martinsville.
in the dirty air.
Support good racing.
Rock and roll.